1st of July, NASA detected a mysterious object speeding toward Earth, and some actual bona fide experts think it might not be your typical space rock.
The story begins with a strange light in the sky, an object from another star system called 3I Atlas. But not all things are what they seem. Scientists first thought it was a comet, but then they saw its chemical trail, pure refined metal. You see, that discovery changed everything. It turned a scientific curiosity into a potential threat, so much so that a famous Harvard scientist has put his reputation on the line with a terrifying warning.
It doesn't look like a very common thing, and glow that is around this object, usually for comets, we've never seen such a thing.
He says the object is not just a rock, but a piece of technology on a controlled path. And the most disturbing part? It seems to be touring our solar system. The object that breaks the rules. Something has arrived in our cosmic neighborhood, and it's making scientists very nervous. On a clear night on July 1st, 2025, a survey team in Chile, using the powerful Victor M. Blanco 4-meter telescope, spotted a faint streak of light. It was moving fast, incredibly fast. We're talking about 130,000 miles per hour. This wasn't just another asteroid from our own backyard. Its path was all wrong. The object, quickly named 3I Atlas, was coming in at a steep angle, a trajectory that told astronomers it wasn't bound by our sun's gravity. It was a visitor from the vast, dark emptiness between the stars, only the third interstellar object humanity had ever confirmed. Many people are crazy about space discoveries, but this one felt different from the start. Usually, these events are celebrated, but a hushed, urgent tone quickly took over the conversation in observatories around the world. The reason? Atlas was acting weird. As it got closer to the sun, its heat began to make the object shed material, creating a tail like a comet. Telescopes, including the James Webb Space Telescope, were immediately pointed at it to analyze that tail. And that's when the first wow factor hit, a detail so strange it sounded like science fiction. The thing nobody tells you is that space dust is a complex cocktail of elements. But Atlas wasn't shedding dust. It was shedding pure, unadulterated nickel, about 10 pounds of it every single second. Now, for the average person, that might not sound too crazy, but for an astrophysicist, it was an impossible signal. In space, nickel is almost always found bonded with iron in asteroids. Finding pure nickel is like finding a solid gold mountain. Nature just doesn't make it that way. On Earth, separating nickel from iron is a heavy industrial process, something that requires immense energy and advanced technology. So, how could a random rock from another star system be leaving a trail of it? A top Harvard astrophysicist, a man known for his daring and often controversial ideas about alien life, was the first to say what many were secretly thinking. He pointed out that this wasn't just unusual, it was a sign of artificiality, a sign of technology, and the strangeness didn't stop there. Further analysis of its gaseous coma revealed another shocker. Comets from our own solar system are like dirty snowballs, mostly made of water ice. Atlas was different. It had a staggering 8 parts carbon dioxide to just 1 part water. Its composition was fundamentally alien. It was born in a star system completely unlike our own, under conditions we can barely imagine. This object wasn't just a tourist, it was a ghost from a place we've never seen. The data pouring in painted a picture of an object that simply should not exist, at least not naturally. The warning from the Harvard scientist suddenly carried more weight. He wasn't just speculating anymore, he had evidence. And the evidence suggested 3I Atlas was far more than a simple comet. The mystery was deepening, turning from a scientific curiosity into a profound and unsettling puzzle. Was this a natural freak of the cosmos? A 1 in a trillion shot? Or was it something else? The pure nickel trail was like a breadcrumb, a clue left behind, either intentionally or by accident. Whatever it was, this silent visitor was challenging everything we thought we knew about the universe. And it was just getting started. Its journey was about to get even stranger. The object's impossible makeup was just the first clue. Next, its path would raise even more alarms. Twice in a lifetime. You see, this isn't the first time a mysterious visitor has crashed our cosmic party. To understand the gravity of the warning about Atlas, we have to rewind the clock a few years to 2017. That's when the first ever confirmed interstellar object, named Oumuamua, tumbled through our solar system. Oumuamua means scout or messenger from afar in Hawaiian, and it certainly lived up to its name. It was a bizarre, cigar-shaped object that didn't behave like any comet or asteroid we had ever seen. It had no tail or coma, yet it was accelerating away from the sun as if something was pushing it. It was the very same Harvard scientist who, back then, proposed a revolutionary and highly controversial theory. He suggested that Oumuamua could be an alien artifact. Specifically, he argued it might be a solar sail, a thin, light-driven spacecraft created by an extraterrestrial civilization. The scientific community largely dismissed the idea, preferring to search for a natural explanation, however unlikely. They called his theory a leap too far, a sensationalist claim. He was criticized for jumping to conclusions, but he stood firm, arguing that we must remain open to the possibility that we are not alone, and that the evidence was pointing in that direction. Now, with 3I Atlas, his controversial theory is suddenly getting a second look. The thing is, one anomaly is a fluke, two is a pattern. Atlas is, in many ways, even stranger than Oumuamua. While the first messenger was mysterious because of what it lacked, a tail, the second messenger is mysterious because of what it has. A tail made of impossible metals and weird gases. The Harvard scientist's warning is no longer just about a single odd object. It's about the staggering coincidence of two incredibly strange objects from other stars visiting us in less than a decade. Think about the numbers. For centuries, with all our telescopes pointed at the sky, we never saw a single object from another star system. Now, we've had two confirmed visitors in just a few years. What are the odds? It forces us to ask a difficult question. Are these objects more common than we thought, or is someone or something sending them? The scientist's argument is that the universe is not trying to trick us. When we see something that looks engineered, that is composed of processed materials, and that follows a suspicious path, we should consider the possibility that it is, in fact, engineered. The case of Atlas is strengthening his argument exponentially. He has pointed out that the combination of impossible metals, the weird gases, and the statistically unlikely trajectory makes it harder and harder to cling to the idea that this is just a random rock. He isn't saying it's a spaceship full of aliens, but rather that it could be a piece of technology, a probe sent to survey our corner of the Milky Way. It's a silent, automated scout, just like its name, Oumuamua, suggested years ago. The ghost of that first visitor is now looming over every new piece of data we get from Atlas, and its eerie similarities are making even the most skeptical scientists shift uncomfortably. The composition was a red flag, but its flight path was the smoking gun, the 0.005% chance. If the materials of 3I Atlas were a mystery, its movement through our solar system was the part that truly sent chills down the spines of astronomers. Its path didn't look random. It looked, for lack of a better word, deliberate. Like it was on a mission. As it soared through our system, it made a series of precise and incredibly close flybys of our planetary neighbors. First Venus, then Mars, and then a long, sweeping arc toward the gas giant Jupiter. It was like a tourist hitting all the major landmarks on a sightseeing trip. The same Harvard scientist who issued the warning decided to run the numbers. He calculated the probability of a random interstellar object charting such a specific planet-hopping course through our solar system by pure chance. The result was a number so small it's practically zero, a 0.005% chance. In other words, the odds of this happening naturally were 1 in 20,000. Many people are crazy about coincidences, but in science, a coincidence that's small isn't a coincidence at all. It's a clue. It suggests that the path wasn't an accident. But not all things are what they seem. The trajectory had another bizarre feature. Atlas entered our solar system on a very similar flat plane to our own planets, the ecliptic. This is highly unusual for an interstellar object, which should come in from any random angle. However, it was moving backward in what's known as a retrograde orbit. The thing nobody tells you is that this is actually an incredibly efficient path if your goal is to observe multiple planets with minimal energy. It's the exact kind of path a smartly designed probe would take to get the most data out of a flyby mission. It's a move that maximizes observation time. The object's closest approach to our Sun, its perihelion, was another point of suspicion. It was scheduled to occur on the far side of the Sun from Earth. This meant that during its peak activity, when it would be shedding the most material and revealing the most about itself, it would be hidden from our best telescopes. Was it a coincidence? Or was it a clever way to mask its true nature during its most vulnerable moment? The questions just kept piling up, each one more unsettling than the last. Was this object gathering data? Was it scanning our system for resources, for life, for something else? The journey of 3I Atlas looks less like a celestial drift and more like a calculated survey. It's a silent, methodical tour of our solar system, executed with mind-boggling precision. The combination of its impossible composition and its statistically impossible path makes the scientists' warning feel less like a wild theory and more like a terrifyingly logical conclusion. We are witnessing an event that defies natural explanation. The evidence is mounting that Atlas is not just a visitor. It's a scout. The evidence is clear, but what does the final warning truly mean for us? A message in a bottle. So what does this all mean? Let's break it down, talking directly here. If you've been watching this, wondering if this stuff that happens in the cosmos overnight could ever affect us, this is the moment to pay attention. The thing is, we have an object made of processed metals, following a 1 in 20,000 trajectory on a tour of our planets. The Harvard scientists' dire warning isn't just about one strange rock. It's about the staggering implication. We are not alone, and we are being watched. Are we missing a key detail here? Or is the answer staring us right in the face? The warning forces us to consider possibilities that were once pure fantasy. One idea is that Atlas is a message in a bottle, an artifact sent out by a long-gone civilization, carrying information across the void. Or maybe it's just cosmic garbage, the discarded engine part of a ship that passed by centuries ago. But the most advanced theories are even more incredible. Could it be a self-replicating von Neumann probe, an autonomous robot designed to travel from star to star, building copies of itself and exploring the galaxy? Or perhaps it's something more profound. Some scientists have speculated about the idea of celestial seeders, probes designed to spread the building blocks of life across the universe. Is it possible that Atlas is on such a mission, and its flyby of our planets is part of a galactic plan we can't even comprehend? The truth is, we don't know. And that's what is so terrifying. The object's strange properties and path could even be a kind of test, a cosmic lure. A challenge to see if the dominant species on this planet, us, is intelligent enough to notice it, to analyze it, and to understand what it represents. The scientist at the heart of this story believes we cannot afford to be arrogant. For centuries we have looked at the sky and assumed it was a realm of natural, predictable forces. We have assumed we are the only thinking beings in this vast cosmic ocean. But maybe, just maybe, we've been wrong. The final dire warning is this: objects like Oumuamua and Atlas may force us to change our perspective forever. We must start considering the possibility that the evidence of intelligent life elsewhere is not going to come from a radio signal, but from physical artifacts sent to our doorstep. The silent visitor, 3I Atlas, hasn't harmed us. It hasn't sent any messages we can decipher, but its mere presence is a warning. It warns us that the universe is far stranger, more crowded, and more mysterious than we have ever dared to imagine. It tells us that we might just be one small piece of a much, much larger story. And that story, it seems, is finally starting to unfold right in our own backyard. We are left to wonder, what happens when the next one arrives? Like and subscribe for more answers to the universe's greatest mysteries. What do you think 3I Atlas is? Is it a warning, or is it an invitation?